Hey guys, welcome back to CALLOUS Invitational 3, Round 3 lower bracket content. It is, of course, another elimination match. This time we have Charmflash and Jimmy Turtwig. Charmflash was one of our play-in players. He had what most people considered an upset in his Round 1 victory against UD. And then Jimmy Turtwig, oh man, trying to remember his matches. I know that he lost to Eden's Embrace, but who did he beat? Some loser in round 2, whoever it was, don't remember. But yeah, they're both 1-1 now, and they both need to win here to continue on in the tour. Neither of these guys are ADV mains or even ADV secondary tiers, so it's interesting that this happened to be the pairing. We'll see how that plays out, but they've both looked good in this tour so far. Here's game 1. So Charmflash is on the bottom. He used to be known as Zamiauto, but I'm sure most of you know him as Charmflash. And then Jimmy Turtwig is on the top. It is a T-Tower to Salamence. This is one of the lamest opening matchups in the entire tier. Both pokes are very threatening to each other, and there's a lot of things to think about because both can be strictly physical, strictly special, or mixed. And there's just a number of different sets that either one could have. So there's a lot of mind games and there's a lot of greed when you get that matchup. At the end of the day, Charmflash switched out. He got a layer of spikes down. Make that... No, he doesn't go for a second layer. He does get a Toxic on the way in on Claydol, which obviously is going to have Rapid Spin. Gengar comes in to try to block Rapid Spin, and instead Jimmy goes for Magneton. So the ever-present Magdoll combination that we've seen a lot of in this tour, that we've seen a lot of in other major tours recently, and it's probably not going away anytime soon. Good catch there for Jimmy to go Hidden Power on the switch as opposed to Thunderbolt. Hits Claydol for way more than Thunderbolt would have. Vaporeon comes in, and it's going to be on the bad end of a Psychic, but Claydol has just such underwhelming offensive stats. 15% is just not a big deal. However, he follows up with Explosion. Also, he outspeeds the Vaporeon, which is weird. I think Vaporeon must have gone for Roar there. But he gets them with Boom, and it ends up being a trade, which that actually seems really good for Charmflash, since it looks almost certain that Jimmy's team will not have spikes, and typically, against a non-spiking team, Claydol is pretty underwhelming. I don't want to go so far as to call it dead weight, but it's pretty damn bad against non-spikes matchups, so the fact that he was able to trade that for a bulky water is tremendous value, and it definitely favored Charmflash more than it favored Jimmy. So we end up with Doll on Skarm. Goes Protect here, which is interesting because he's begging for the Mag to come back in. But it's going to work out this time. The Rapid Spin does get protected against. Claydol takes a little more toxic damage. T-Tar comes in now. And maybe he was thinking Claydol was going to go for Psychic, aimed at Gengar there, but that is not the way it plays out. We end up with T-Tar on Mag now. Stays in for Thunderbolt. That feels really greedy. He would insta-die to a lot of things here. Fire Blast certainly being one of them, but Earthquake would get him. Brick Break, rather, I don't think would kill, but it would do a lot. And there's some other bad things that could happen there as well. Skarmory comes into meta here, and it's going to eat a Meteor Mash. That's obviously not banded damage, though we do already know from seeing them earlier that there are lefties in play for Jimmy. Here's Protect. And it's just mash again. The reason he's mashing, A, is because he doesn't have something better to do, and B, because he's fishing for attack raises here, which might tip the tide in this 1v1 in his favor. And he ends up going for Boom, which, yeah, I mean, I guess with your Mag dead, I guess you just need an answer to Skarm, or you're going to have issues with spikes all day. Claydol, in theory, neutralizes it, but if Claydol can't actually hurt the Skarm, or if the Skarm had Drill Peck, then Claydol doesn't actually win that matchup. That's a big Hydro Pump miss there for Charmflash. That would have done a ton to the doll. I don't know if it kills or not. Depends on the EVs of both pokes, but that would have done very, very heavy damage and possibly killed. And in fact, the follow-up Hydro Pump does kill. However, because of the initial miss, a Rapid Spin did get off, and of course, Charmflash does not have Skarm anymore and cannot relay those spikes. Nevertheless, Charmflash, despite that miss and despite that Rapid Spin, is certainly ahead right now with his 4-2 advantage. Finds himself with Coon on Mence now. It's got Hydro Pump, so very well may have Ice Beam as well, but he doesn't show that here. End up with Jirachi here. That's the last poke previously unrevealed coming in for Charmflash. Comes in on Hidden Power flying very safely. That prompts a switch. And it is a Fire Punch attempt, fishing for the 20% burn with the aid of Serene Grace. And he finds it. Lax better be a rest variant or that burn is completely crippling. And in comes Gengar now. And it's the immediate rest. Does not try to boost, does not try to get cute. Just immediately takes a nap and gets rid of that burn. And that's also going to prevent, if Gengar has Taunt, that's not going to matter anymore. The rest already happened. Gengar cannot stop it. So Jimmy stays in, kills a sleep turn. Coon comes in as the answer. Begins to Calm Mind up. We've seen 3 moves. Hydro Pump over Surf still makes me think the last move might just be Ice Beam, but we'll see. Relevant in the Mence matchup, obviously, if he does have Ice Beam. And Lax is going to wake up and go for Curse. I don't know that he wins this 1v1, though. Coon is going to need to miss Hydro Pump, or Lax is going to have to get Para or something. It is last move Ice Beam, and Lax simply going to go to sleep. So Hydro Pump PP is at 5 right now, has only the measly 8 to begin with. PP could potentially be a factor here. There's Calm Mind number 2. Has Lax actually shown its normal move? No, it's just gone Curse and Rest this whole time. So it might not even have Body Slam. It might have like Return or something. Or be that really awkward Lax set with both Earthquake and Shadow Ball. But if the next Hydro Pump connects, none of this matters. It'll die and that'll be the game. Because of course one Ice Beam would just kill the Mence. And there is the connecting Hydro Pump. That is going to be the ball game. Jimmy's going to concede because obviously he can't deal with the Ice Beam Coon. And that is going to be a pretty one-sided Game 1 victory for Charmflash. He was a play-in player, like I said, and he has really held his own in this tour. And he is 1 game away. He's got 2 chances at it to get himself to 2-1, which is very solid given the number of fantastic ADV players who are already out of this tournament. We'll see if you can do that. Thumbs up if you've enjoyed the tournament so far, and I will see you guys in Game 2.